Welcome to the My Machine podcast. Today, we're going deep on AI and fine arts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we'll look at painting, sculpture, music, even architecture.
hmm
It's kind of wild how AI is already changing things up and what it might mean for, like, the future of art itself.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. AI isn't just a tool anymore. It's becoming a collaborator,
Oh, wow.
a muse, even a potential artist, like in its own right, potentially.
Wow.
And this brings up some really interesting questions about like what we even consider art
Right.
and who gets to be called an artist.
Totally. So we've got research papers, news articles.
Okay.
We even found some opinion pieces from artists.
Interesting.
Our mission, if you will, is to really unpack how AI is impacting fine arts, explore the tech behind it all,
Mm.
and then, tackle those big philosophical questions head on.
It's not just theory, though. Like
Right.
AI is actively being used everywhere in the fine arts world. And it's not just replicating what humans do, it's opening up totally new ways of expression.
Wow, okay.
For example, there's this AI called AIVA.
AIGA?
Yeah, it composed a whole symphony like in the style of Beethoven.
No way.
Yeah, and it was performed by a full orchestra.
Wow.
It got like critical acclaim even,
Really?
which sparked all this debate about what AI's role should be in creative fields.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
So, okay, AI is making art, but how? Like, what's the technology making it all happen?
Well, one of the big players is something called generative adversarial networks,
Okay.
or GANs.
Jans.
Yeah, these are they're AI models that learn from, existing art,
hmm
and then they can generate new pieces in similar styles or even like blend styles together.
Oh, wow.
Think of it like you feed a GAN thousands of images of impressionist paintings,
Okay.
and it learns to create its own like original impressionist style works.
So it's not just copying, it's actually learning the style and making something new.
Exactly, yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
And it gets even more interesting.
What?
Researchers used a GAN to create a portrait. It's called The Portrait of Edmund Bellamy. And get this, it's sold at Christie's, the auction house, for over $432,000.
Hold up.
Yeah, it was the first AI-generated artwork to be sold by like a major auction house.
Right.
It really like shook up the art world.
Wow, that's a pretty penny for an AI-generated portrait. So that's Jan's. What are some other key AI technologies changing fine arts?
Well, there's neural style transfer.
Yeah.
This lets you take the style of one image, say like Van Gogh's Starry Night,
Yeah.
and then you can apply it to a different image, like say a photo you took on your phone.
Oh, okay.
The results can be pretty wild, honestly, like blending these different art styles in ways that humans might never like even think of.
I've seen those images online. They're always super trippy.
Yeah.
Are actual artists using this? Or is it more like a fun filter for people?
Honestly, both. Some artists are using neural style transfer as a starting point
Oh, interesting.
for their work.
Okay.
It can help them come up with new ideas or explore different, aesthetic possibilities. Like,
Mhm.
say, a photographer, they could use it to make their photos look like they were painted by Monet.
So it's not replacing artists, it's giving them new tools. I like that.
Right.
What about other forms of art, like music and writing? Is AI making a difference there too?
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing AI composing music, writing poetry, even generating scripts for like plays and movies.
Wait, AI is writing screenplays now.
Yeah.
Wow.
For language-based art forms, the key technology is natural language processing,
Okay.
or NLP. This is how AI understands and generates human language.
Mm-hmm.
Think of models like GPT-4.
Oh, yeah, GPT-4.
Yeah.
The one writing everyone's term papers these days. But how's it being used in fine arts specifically?
Well, there's this theater company in London, for example. They used AI to like co-write a play with a human playwright.
No way.
It was a huge success, even won an award. It really brings up questions about like the future of creative collaboration, between humans and AI.
That's incredible. It seems like AI is becoming like a master of all these art forms.
It really is.
Wow.
And that's what's so fascinating about this whole thing. It's not just the technology. It's about what it means to be creative,
Yeah.
to be an artist, to make art,
Right. Because if an AI can create a painting or write a song, then what does that make human artists?
Exactly. That's one of the big questions we're going to explore in this deep dive.
For sure.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep into those philosophical
Sure.
waters, can you give us some more specific examples of how AI is actually transforming traditional techniques in art?
Absolutely. Let's start with painting.
Okay.
AI is being used to create everything from like photorealistic images
Mhm.
that are almost indistinguishable from photographs
Wow.
to like surreal landscapes and abstract pieces that really push the boundaries of what we even think of as painting, you know?
So there's like a whole spectrum of how AI is being used in painting.
Exactly. Like take the artist Refik Anadol, for instance.
Okay.
He uses AI algorithms and data to create these amazingly complex and immersive installations.
Wow.
One of his pieces, Melting Memories, it uses brainwave data to create these like visuals that constantly shift and evolve. It
Wow.
explores the nature of memory and consciousness. Really fascinating stuff.
Wow, that's way beyond just having a robot paint, like a pretty picture.
Right. And that's just like one example. AI is also being used in sculpture where robots can carve these incredibly intricate sculptures out of like stone or metal.
Oh.
And in photography where AI can enhance photos, remove unwanted objects, or even generate entirely new scenes, you know, based on your specifications.
So it's not replacing artists, it's augmenting their abilities,
Yeah.
giving them new ways to like express themselves and push the boundaries of their art.
Precisely. And what's really exciting is that we're just at the beginning of this whole AI art revolution. Who knows what incredible new art forms will like emerge in the years to come.
I can't wait to find out. But before we get like too carried away,
Yeah.
let's come back to something you mentioned earlier, those big philosophical questions.
Yeah.
For example, if an AI creates a piece of art, who's the real artist?
Huh?
Is it the programmer, the AI itself, or someone else entirely?
Yeah, that's a question that's been debated ever since like the first AI generated art popped up.
Right.
It really challenges our traditional ideas about authorship and creativity. Like, is the artist the one who writes the code?
Right.
Or the one who trains the AI? Or is the AI itself the artist?
It's a good question, because we're used to thinking of art as something that comes from, the human soul, from our experiences and emotions.
Exactly. So how do we reconcile that with an AI that can create something, beautiful or emotionally moving? Does that mean the AI has a soul? Or is it just mimicking human creativity?
It's definitely a mind bender.
Yeah.
And it gets even trickier when you think about the value of AI-generated art.
Right.
Is it real art? Does it have the same, like, emotional weight as human-made art?
Right.
And how does it affect, like, the value of art in the market? These are all questions we'll continue to grapple with as AI art keeps evolving.
Definitely. We've been talking about like how AI is really blurring the lines in the art world,
Yeah.
bringing up these questions of authorship, value, the very definition of creativity.
Right.
But let's step into like the really mind-boggling stuff now.
Okay, I'm ready. Lay it on me. What mind-blowing stuff does AI have in store for the art world?
One of the most fascinating things is the rise of AI-generated virtual artists.
Virtual artists.
Yeah, these aren't just algorithms. They're like digital entities
Bruh.
with backstories, personalities, even like evolving musical or artistic styles.
So like a band or a painter that only exists online.
Precisely. And they're gaining real-world traction. For
Right.
example, there's this virtual Japanese pop star named Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, she has millions of fans worldwide, sells out concerts where she performs as a hologram,
Wow.
and even collaborates with, like, human musicians.
That's wild. People are buying concert tickets to see a hologram powered by AI.
It's happening.
Huh. But I guess it makes sense. No diva dramas, always on beat.
Right.
And their music can constantly evolve based on what fans like.
You got it. It really challenges that traditional idea of what a musician or even an artist can be.
That's true.
And it raises all these questions about like authenticity and connection in a world where digital creations can make fans feel such strong emotions.
It's definitely making me rethink what it means to be a fan, for sure. Okay, so virtual artists are like out there wowing crowds. What else is AI doing to push the boundaries of art?
Well, let's talk about hyper-personalized art. Imagine artwork created just for you, tailored to your tastes, your emotions, even your personality.
So like an algorithm that knows I love Impressionism
Mm-hmm.
and then makes a custom Monet-style painting just for me.
That's the basic idea, but it gets way deeper. Like imagine an AI that analyzes your social media, your music preferences, even your heart rate, like how it changes when you see certain images.
Wow.
And then it generates art that reflects like your unique emotional and aesthetic profile.
That's both amazing and a little creepy.
Right.
But I do see the appeal. Art that really speaks to you personally.
Exactly. It raises these questions about the role of the artist as a communicator and the viewer as an interpreter when AI becomes like a mediator in that whole exchange.
That's deep. We're definitely in philosophical territory now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about something a little less existential. What about AI's role in preserving art that already exists?
Oh, that's where it gets really interesting. Think about AI creating digital twins of like historical buildings or priceless artworks. These digital replicas could capture every single detail.
Every detail.
Yeah, like from brushstrokes to like the tiniest architectural nuances using high-resolution scanning and AI-powered analysis.
So like a super detailed 3D model that you could use to restore a damaged artwork?
Yes, or even recreate it if the original was like destroyed.
That's amazing.
We're talking about like creating digital backups of cultural heritage that
Right.
could be stored safely and accessed by anyone, anywhere in the world.
That's a great idea.
And imagine this, these digital twins could even be interactive.
Really?
So people could like walk through a virtual version of the Colosseum
Oh,
or zoom in to examine the brushstrokes of a Van Gogh.
it'd be like a virtual museum, but even better.
Yeah.
Because you could experience the art in ways you couldn't in real life.
Exactly. It opens up so many possibilities for art education, preservation, and accessibility.
This is blowing my mind. Okay, so we've got virtual artists, hyper-personalized art, and digital twins that preserve cultural heritage. What else is AI cooking up in the art world?
Well, we're also seeing AI-generated art forms that are like challenging our very definition of what art is. One example is generative art.
Okay.
It uses algorithms to create art that's constantly evolving, changing over time, even reacting to its surroundings.
So the art itself is like alive
Yeah,
and changing.
it is. Think about a digital painting that changes colors based on the weather outside,
Okay.
or a sculpture that like morphs and shifts based on how people move around it.
Whoa, that's so different from like a static painting on a wall.
Right. It makes us rethink what we consider art and embrace new forms of creativity that we couldn't have without AI.
I love how AI is challenging our ideas about art and like opening up a whole new world of creative possibilities.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, it's a lot to take in.
It is, but that's what makes it so fascinating. AI is pushing the boundaries of art in ways we're only starting to understand. And it brings up these deep questions about the nature of creativity, the role of the artist, the value of art in a world where machines can create alongside us.
I'm definitely ready to explore those questions further. But before we do, let's talk about something that comes up a lot with AI and art. The potential for it to be used in ways that are harmful or exploitative.
That's a really important point. Like any powerful technology, AI can be misused.
Yeah.
Like there are concerns about AI-generated deepfakes, for example,
Yeah.
being used to create fake art or to trick people into thinking a piece was made by a certain artist when it wasn't.
That's a scary thought.
All
It
right.
could really undermine trust in the art world and make it even harder to tell real art from fakes.
Exactly. And there are concerns about AI being used to create art that's offensive, harmful, even dangerous.
Right.
We need to be very aware of these risks as we develop and use AI in the art world.
It's a reminder that even with all this potential, AI is a tool, and it needs to be used responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely. We need to have these open conversations about the ethical implications of AI art
Yeah.
and develop safeguards to prevent it from being misused.
It's a lot to consider, but it's so crucial that we have these conversations now as AI is becoming more and more a part of the art world.
Yeah.
So we've explored like all this amazing potential of AI in art.
Yeah.
Virtual pop stars, hyper-personalized paintings. But like with any powerful technology, there's got to be another side to this, right?
Oh, absolutely. We can't ignore the potential downsides, the challenges AI brings to art. It's not just about algorithms making, pretty things.
Right, exactly. So what are those challenges then? Like what are people worried about when it comes to AI and art?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is the economic impact.
Okay.
Like, what happens to human artists?
Yeah.
If AI can create art that's, like, indistinguishable from human-made art, or even better, technically, what happens to the artists who, need to make a living from their work?
That's a good point. We've seen technology disrupt industries before. Could AI lead to like a devaluation of human skill and creativity in art?
It's a possibility. Some people argue that AI could lead to this race to the bottom, where art becomes like a commodity,
Wow.
and only the most technically skilled AI artists, or the ones with the most advanced tech, can succeed.
That would be such a loss For the art world, for everyone, really.
Uh,
Art's about so much more than just like technical perfection.
Absolutely.
It's about expression and emotion, connecting with something deeper in ourselves and the world around us.
Exactly. And that leads to another concern, like, could AI-generated art lack that human element,
Yeah.
that spark of, I don't know, soul or individual perspective that
Yeah.
really makes art connect with us emotionally?
It's like think of reading something. It could be technically perfect, but if it's soulless, it doesn't grab you. But then you read something that moves you, makes you think,
Yeah.
stays with you. That's the difference.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So, can AI really capture all that, the nuances of human emotion, the complexity of what it means to be alive? Or will it always be, however impressive, just an imitation of something it can't truly grasp?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a question that philosophers and artists are trying to figure out. There's no easy answer.
Definitely not. But even if AI can't perfectly replicate the human experience, it can still, make us re-examine our own creativity,
Oh, interesting.
push us to explore new ways of expressing ourselves, to go deeper into how we make art, to question what it means to be an artist when machines are creating too.
I like that perspective. It's not about being afraid of AI. It's about like using it to enhance our own creativity.
Exactly. AI can be a tool for inspiration, a way to spark new ideas, a partner even in pushing the boundaries of artistic expression.
So that brings up another big question. How do we make sure AI is used ethically in art? We talked about the economic impact and keeping that human element.
Mm.
What else we need to be thinking about?
Well, there's the potential for AI to create art that's actually harmful,
Oh, right.
offensive, or even dangerous. Imagine like an AI trained on data that's biased or hateful.
Oh,
It could end up creating art that spreads those harmful stereotypes or even encourages violence.
that's scary. It really shows how important it is to be careful about the data used to train AI and to have ethical guidelines for how it's used in art.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can't just sit back and wait. We need to be proactive about these issues and make sure AI is used to create art that's inclusive, respectful, and actually benefits society.
So it's this balancing act, right? How do we use AI's power for good, but also protect human artists and human creativity?
It's a tough question, but I think it starts with, open conversations, collaboration
Okay.
between artists, tech people, ethicists, policymakers. We need to work together to figure out how to develop and use AI responsibly in the art world.
Makes sense. Bringing different perspectives together to shape this future of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
Exactly. It's about creating a future where AI and human artists can both exist, maybe even collaborate and push the boundaries of art further than we can imagine right now.
This has been an incredible journey, really, from the technical stuff to like the really deep philosophical questions. What are your final thoughts on AI and art? Where is this all going?
I think we're at a turning point. AI is changing art in huge ways, and it's really up to us how this all unfolds. We got to brace the potential, but face the challenges head on, think about the ethical side, and make sure we're developing and using AI responsibly. The future of art, kind of like art itself, is this open canvas waiting for human imagination and, well, AI to fill it in.
That's a great way to put it. I don't know about you, but I'm excited, a little nervous, but definitely inspired to see what happens next with art in this age of AI.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into AI art. We hope you learned something new and that you're feeling inspired too to see what amazing things will come from this incredible mix of art and technology.